My name is Prentice and I head up the Safer Marketing team at the Scottish Government. Today I'd like to tell you about an award-winning campaign that we created to encourage young men to drive more safely on Scotland roads. A campaign which set a new direction for road safety advertising with an audience-focused strategy and a bold new creative approach, and which encouraged over 85,000 young drivers to drive more safely on Scotland roads. Historically, road safety marketing campaigns have tackled problem behaviours in isolation, like speeding, country roads, and drink driving, all aimed at different audiences and united by a core strategic theme built on risks and consequences. Don't risk it. But that strategy had been created more than 10 years ago, so we felt the time was right for a new strategic review and a new vision. As part of the review, we brought together representatives from marketing, strategy and insight, policy, analytics, and our agency planning and media teams, as well as key stakeholders including Police Scotland. And through a series of in-depth planning sessions with the strategic team, we worked together to get under the skin of the data, reflect on the challenges ahead, and better understand the role of marketing in tackling those challenges. Central to this was identifying the outcomes against which we needed this new strategy to deliver. Vision Zero, where no one dies or is injured on Scotland roads by 2050. But young men aged 20 to 29 with their risky driving behaviour represent the most significant challenge to this vision and are therefore a key priority within Scotland's road safety framework. They are most likely to die on Scotland roads, and they also over-index on criminal convictions for motoring offences including drink and drug driving. Speed and control are the key contributing factors. So, by focusing our efforts and our media spend on tackling risky behaviours with young male drivers specifically, our marketing could have a much greater impact on longer-term outcomes, reducing accidents and reducing these risk behaviours. But as you might imagine, young men are a difficult audience to impress and an equally difficult bunch to reach, not least when it comes to road safety messages. Our Don't Risk It proposition was way out of step with an audience who both physically and biologically can't understand their vulnerability and for whom risk is simply not a deterrent. So we needed some fresh research to guide our thinking. Qualitative research helped unearth our key insight. Young men are convinced that they're excellent drivers, and they equate driving confidently with driving safely. An inflated sense of control sees a desire to push themselves and their cars to the limits because they believe that they're invincible. But when they're speeding or chatting to friends or on their mobile phones, they're less in control than they imagine. So we really needed to move away from talking about risks and consequences and instead remind our target audience that a good driver is a safe driver, one who is in control of their car. This became the foundation for our new young driver strategy. We set a number of SMART objectives to measure campaign awareness, recognition and action, and we worked with a leading academic and behavioural scientist, Fiona Phelan, to put in place a bespoke study based on the theory of planned behaviour to measure the longer-term ability of the campaign to shift driver attitudes and remodel the way that young men think about driving. Next, the creative approach. We needed a really standout idea, something which didn't wag the finger and could land our message in a really credible way. Returning again to the insight, research revealed that young men drive more carefully and take fewer risks if they have precious cargo in their car, such as a child or their gran. This insight was central to unlocking our creative approach. Drive Like Gran's in the Car was born. Gran is a fictional, no-nonsense character who isn't afraid to call her grandson out on bad driving behaviour. We loved her from the moment the creative agency presented the first scripts and could see a real opportunity to move away from the calamitous road safety advertising of old with a humorous new approach that would be memorable, credible and motivating and culturally relevant for our audience. This was pretty bold stuff for Scottish Government, using witty grandmothers to tackle an issue like road safety, with the odd mild swear word thrown in too. But our audience testing provided the evidence that this approach would resonate. And if we wanted to have any chance of reaching a tricky audience like young men, we had to be prepared to be brave. Here's a look at one of the ads. This is for drug driving.
Gran?
Oh, aye. I bet it toot up your snoot, eh? Good grief, boy. And you're supposed to be the designated driver. You're lucky I don't designate my foot up your arse. You know they've got roadside tests for this stuff now, you pair of Pablo Escobans. Drugs can kill, and you can now be tested at the roadside for them. Drive like Gran's in the car. Don't take drugs and drive.
From a media perspective, we took a new approach too, moving away from a traditional campaign calendar of advertising, and instead we put in place a 2-year always-on media strategy, initially focusing on speed, mobile phones and distraction, that would reach our target audience in their favourite places and build a deeper connection by being in the content that they loved. Ours was the first ever Scotland-only campaign on Twitch, the live gaming platform. We cherry-picked Prime TV and cinema slots like Fast and the Furious and Love Island, and we partnered with The Sun on their football podcast with guests including Amy McDonald and Shelley Kerr. Interactive events toured festivals and sporting events. But was our new approach working, and more importantly, were we changing our audience's attitudes? Campaign tracking showed that we'd beaten our SMART objectives for awareness, recognition and engagement, with 4 in 10 drivers taking action to drive more safely. Our digital plan delivered over 16 million impressions and 1.1 million audio impressions in the first 6 weeks. All results to be really proud of, and evidence that Gran's message was starting to get through. But what's even more remarkable is that we're now starting to also see a shift in perceptions amongst young drivers in terms of the extent to which they are in control of their car. Our Fiona Phelan research is already showing that over time since Gran started, a gradual increase in their belief in their ability to drive within the speed limit. To see shifts like this in these early stages really is incredible, and powerful evidence that this new approach is starting to shift ingrained attitudes for the long term. And I'm really delighted to say that my team have also picked up a few awards along the way too. The Prince Michael of Kent International Road Safety Award, the highest recognition for excellence in road safety globally, and 2 golds for young drivers at the Martin Society Effective Awards in 2019, and hot off the press, another gold for Gran in the 2020 awards just last week, as well as the coveted Client of the Year and Chairman's Award for the Roses, at the Chairman's Award for Creativity at the Roses Awards. We're really proud of Drive Like Grans in the car. It's not easy to deliver a brave, funny campaign about road safety, particularly when you're the government. But both the awards and, more importantly, the groundbreaking results highlight that it is possible to be both effective and creative. I'll leave you with just another one of our ads, which is called Distractions, and watch this space for our new Gran Country Roads campaign, which is coming your way very soon. Thank you and goodbye.
Mind now, Ben. Crash, and you'll no be able to come round for Granny's mince and tatties.
Turn it up.
Mince and tatties, Ben.
Turn it up.
Mince and tatties.
Turn it up.
Mince and tatties, son.
Turn it up.
Mince and tatties.
Mince and tatties!
Drive like Gran's in the car. Don't let me distract you.